Humour. When I wrote my many-volume autobiography, particularly about my schools and university experience, one of the things that surprised me was how much attention was paid to teaching me humour, different forms, irony, satire, slapstick, and so on. And this was not just confined to my schools, but also at home with my parents, with my friends. Very much effort was put into teaching me how to tell jokes. Now, I realized I was doing this, but I didn't realize that it's actually an art which you learn over your lives. I realized this also when I went to Nepal, and I discovered that when I was learning the language, there was a turning point when I could make a joke in the Gurung language I was learning, and they laughed. And I realized it when my Chinese and Japanese and other friends came as students or to England, and they said, "Alan, I realize that when I learn about the English sense of humour and understand it, then I will be getting a reasonable way towards understanding the culture." All this is well illustrated in Ishiguro's book, The Remains of the Day, where the butler and his master find it difficult, particularly when it's an American who has bought the estate, and the Japanese author is exploring the difficulty of someone understanding another culture's sense of humour. So why is humour so important? Well, one part of it is obviously it's a class marker, different sense of humour, the use of irony and so on is middle class, illustrated particularly in the great number of humorous comedies for which British television and so on were famous. Fawlty Towers, Blackadder, Monty Python's Flying Circus, all these are filled with sort of middle class, undergraduate kind of humour and play on the theme of class a lot. So it excavates and explores class tensions, and being proficient in a certain classes type of humour sets you apart. Another reason for it, I think, is to do with power. The great period of irony in the 18th century, Pope and Dryden and others, was when people had a fairly respectful realization that you could be jailed for attacking the powers that be, and yet you wanted to do so, so you did it through irony. And this is one of the reasons irony is much less common in America, where you can say what you like. And another reason, as an anthropologist, is that anthropologists like Levi-Strauss say that myth in tribal societies helps people to resolve unresolvable contradictions. All cultures provide you with problems of life and death and nature and culture and so on, and you do it through telling stories in these cultures where you resolve these oppositions, rather like the catharsis you get in certain plays. You work through a contradiction. And much of British humour is about the ridiculousness, the tragedy, the minor tragedies, the clashes in different ways of looking at things. And many times in conversations, when faced with stupid or impossible situations, if you can tell a joke, as I try to do, or in a quarrel or whatever, then suddenly it resolves that and you laugh. And laughter is, as so many people have said as a cliche, is a wonderful medicine. So keep you've got to smile, as the British say.